Oh hey, an Ingle showed up. What's up, my guy? What's it like being the most handsome man on this stream right now? There we go. That's proper now. Okay, and audio's coming through. Oh, and the stream was muted for you. Well, you didn't hear the compliment I gave you. I said, what's it like being the most handsome man on the stream today? Considering you chopped off like 4 inches of beard, you don't feel very handsome. I bet you look dashing. Even though you probably looked significantly, I want to say cooler, I imagine, with the like foot-long beard, I bet you still look pretty good. Oh, I bet you miss it. That's right, they won't be around for another couple years and you'll just let it grow out again. It's fine. It's fine. Or you just gotta wear a hairnet, one of the two, or a beard net, whatever it is. It was pretty unkempt. You didn't take care of it at all while you. Okay, well, while you were sick is understandable. Like if someone came up to me and was like, "Dude, your beard looks awful. You need to clean it up." It's like, okay, I just got over COVID. Like, you want to do this for me, or you want to get anywhere near my mouth? Yeah, I have been there. I try to keep mine short now because of that. This is the length that I tend to like it at. Let's see. Is this Steam again? So for some reason, I'm hearing audio from Steam in my headphones. But there is nothing actually playing. It's like it's stuck on a video somewhere, and I can't figure out how to stop it. Hey, Avian, how are you doing? Also, question for you all who are probably significantly more color oriented than me. How does that blue look, especially next to the red? Just chilling. Honestly, about same. I wanted to start a little bit early today, so that way maybe I could end a little bit early and spend some time with Lauren. And then I got distracted setting up this bar right there, setting up that bar, and looking at labs to get blood work done. The main issue is with the white text being over the brighter spot of the bar. The blue itself is fine. I wonder if okay, I will have to try and give the white text like a little outliner black backdrop. Let's see if I can do this through Stream Elements or if I have to do this by CSS coding, because that's gonna be the kicker. So this is going to be other goal. Save that name. Text settings. Give it a. Did that work? I don't know if that worked. Maybe it's this one that I need to. Maybe it's up here. Fill color, that's the title. Text shadow is turned on. That's font. Okay, so none of those did it. The white is a bit hard to read. Okay, so let's see. This is going to take a lot more searching than I want to do. So why don't we do a color picker real quick? Hex, we'll do that. Actually, I probably need to do this. There we go. Let's try. Oh. How's that? Better? Better. Okay, we'll stick with that. I didn't need it to be super white. I just needed it to be lighter to give that gradient effect. And Julian! Hi Gina, how are you doing? I am cheating for what it's worth to get that to do what I want it to do. Good. I'm glad it's a lot easier on the eyes. How is the red one? Is that one okay? So, complete transparency. How I'm doing this, I am using Stream Elements' goal bar feature, and then I'm using OBS to overwrite it with CSS. So I'm not actually using any of the OBS features of like being able to customize the text. All of that has to be done with CSS. But I have to go and like read the page elements of Stream Elements to parse what needs to be modified and what the specific containers are called, because they don't make that easy. So I am basically picking apart the code and then finding out what works and then writing my own code to change that a little bit to make it look like that. Because briefly what you saw with the light blue bar, that's typically what it looks like. I am using CSS magic to make it look like that. So we get it. You're so good at computers. Thank you, Engel. That's all I wanted, is for someone to notice how good I am at computers. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well, Gina. I'm doing all right, just hanging out and getting everything ready, trying to just trying to see what I can do to keep the stream train rolling, you know? You could barely make a circle in programming. This is far too complicated for you. I had to make a poker game in Java and Lord, your brain hurt. See, that's where stuff like CSS and HTML are different. CSS and HTML are a coding language, but they're not the same as Java or C# or C++ or any of those fancy, or Python, like any of those fancy ones. It is literally just like, once you learn how the syntax works, you can be like, okay, goal.fill represents everything that happens when the bar fills up, and goal.bar means the background, or goal.background or whatever. So as long as I start my code with either one of those containers, then I can typically modify stuff. But the problem is, because it has its own CSS that is written for it through stream elements, some stuff doesn't work. So then, yeah, really got to get creative with it. So genuinely, what I want is, I want someone to just create an easy to use, customizable goal bar. And I feel like someone out there has done that, but I have not been able to find them. I have no idea how to get what I want. So I have to go this ad hoc way of doing it. Hate Java, hate HTML, but you love C++ or Python. Hi, Shadow, how are you? Just gonna sit here and look pretty and listen to my mind because I lost you at total transparency. I love you too, Matt. How are you? You know, minimal Python and Java, but your brain has removed all that knowledge to make room for important things like D&D. See, and I've been pushing out all things D&D to learn. Aw, thank you so much for the sub, Avian. I appreciate that. Welcome back to your third adventure. Glad you're home as well. How was the cabin? But yeah, learning Blender, and soon I'm going to try and learn Unreal Engine, which means that I might take a crash course in C++, which is not something I ever thought I would say, that I wanted to learn coding. But if I make vidja game, maybe it'll be okay. Drillian Game Maker arc, maybe. I have 3 game ideas that I want to create, and I need to learn how to use Unreal Engine before I can do any of those, and I need to learn how to do blueprints in Unreal Engine before I can even scrape that idea together. And then maybe once I learn blueprints, I might dive into C++. Ooh, how was Mario Odyssey? That's one more than Milo? Wait, Milo has 2 game ideas? I thought he only had 1. Coding's a lot of fun, but most of your knowledge has left your brain. I have never had fun coding, in the sense that, like, I have enjoyed working on a project the whole time. I cannot imagine sitting down and just coding for fun like I know some people do. I would have to code for a reason. Like, I've enjoyed sitting down and doing Blender. Don't know what I'm making, but I've enjoyed just doing it. That is fun. Painting a model, that is fun. Fixing a computer or putting one together, I have enjoyed just doing that. But sitting down and coding, I can't fathom enjoying just the aspect of coding. Wait, Ingle, do you know about a second game that I don't know about? You'd love to make games, you're just not patient enough. Yeah, I get that. I don't know if I'm gonna have the patience for it. I don't know if anything will ever come of it. But I would like to try. I'd like to try and learn some new things. I have some other ideas with Unreal that I would like to try that I'm not even gonna try speaking into existence. I have so many different, like, business ideas and crap like that. I don't know if I'll ever come around to any of them. But why not try to learn new things in life? Why stay stagnant? That's the way I look at it. So you did some coding in college and you were really good at it, but you hated doing it, so you stopped. That was me with math, according to my mom growing up. I was really good at math, but I hated it, and so I never did it. And I did all that I could to avoid doing any type of coding other than HTML and CSS, because that was the only coding that I was familiar with, and I figured I could get by on some HTML and CSS. Your unmedicated ADHD does not like focusing on things for too long. Honestly, I am medicated and I still have trouble with that. I think I might need to go to a different ADD medicine. Odyssey was good, just finishing up some post-game stuff. Odyssey was the one with Cappy the Hat, right? C++ is good to code in, though. Have you coded in C++, Matt? You unironically love rigging models 2D or 3D. It's similar to programming. You're just too lazy to figure out model issues. Oh, you coded C++ in college. Okay, so if I have any C++ questions, I'll just come right to you. I appreciate you, Matt. You're wonderful. I've only done a little bit of rigging in Blender, and I've enjoyed it, but I feel like I've done the bare bones basic rigging, and rigging that doesn't quite expand to other things, if that makes sense. You can't code it now, but you can follow through the logic in reading it. I mean, everyone needs a rubber duck. Rigging in Blender is so nice compared to Maya. I'm glad to hear you say that, because I remember when you first tried rigging in Blender, you were like, I hate this. This sucks. I don't want to do this. You understand more Spanish than you can speak. No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Lauren's the same way. She used to be able to speak Spanish fluently and without much trouble, and now she's like, I can't speak it, but I can understand it. In Maya, you have to do 3 steps to every one in Blender. Blender's just so good. I feel you. I gave you some of the material that I use for learning, right? I don't know if you ever went to it or not. Okay. Well, I bought a lifetime subscription, so literally everything on their website is now available to me. So if you still have that, you know, feel free to take a look. Because they've got some stuff that comes down to rigging characters and stuff like that. Most of it's probably toward modeling, but you know, I'm sure you could pick through some of the stuff that you want. Some of it, I think, was animating. Most of it was modeling. Playing Baldur's Gate 3 and choosing spells for your party members is so hard, isn't it? Oh, Shadow, you should see us playing Divinity Original Sin. Okay, second question for you all. Do the bars, are they too intrusive where they are? I was thinking about putting them either right at the top, along the top, or at the bottom. But if I make them much smaller, you can't really see the text. So I just need to know, like, you think they're fine? They're very bright. They are very bright. They're colorful. They're supposed to catch your eye.
187 at 5810.
They kind of draw the eye more than my camera. Okay.
The coroner thinks the broad was whacked using the army morphine. Don't say anything, Roy. Just get over there.
I'm sure I could, Matt, with a little bit of finagling. But as I was saying earlier, pretty much everything, color and size and stuff like that, is done by CSS. And it's ad hoc CSS. So I legit have to, like, spend time to go in and where am I going? This one. Spend time to go in and fix it. Yeah, I'd have to learn the code and then recode. Yeah, something to do later. But Oh no. Not what I wanted to do. What I could do is... studio mode. There we go. I could... Because originally what I wanted to do was have them, like, nested behind here. Like, actual health and mana bars. Like that. Which I feel like that kind of looks okay. Think that's a little better? Okay, I'll stick with that for now. That position is better? Okay, perfect. That is what I needed to know. Because I was waffling. Make them like health and mana orbs in Diablo. I think that's going to require a lot more coding than I understand. Hi, Test. How are you, buddy? But that is something I would love to do. I would love to get it to like fill the sides of the frame. I think would be fun. But I would legit have to hire someone to do CSS coding or something for me to make it work.
What's with
because
that getup of yours anyway?
I have no idea.
I should start introducing
Do it.
Detective
Hey,
Owen,
Val.
this is my science teacher,
Tired,
Mr.
headache. Why tired? Why headache, buddy? What's going on?
Starting to get me worrying.
Like it or not, we're a dysfunctional couple now. People judge me with you on my arm same way they would a fat broad with a 5 o'clock shadow.
I really hope you're joking, Roy.
I don't like you like that, Roy. You want to go back to vacation. I feel you. I'm sorry, bud. How was your vacation? Please tell me about it. Spend some time getting in your own head about your vacation and tell me...
You seem distracted.
Can I take that fire
We
truck?
recovered the morphine. Some of it might...
Can I take the fire truck?
How are we gonna look getting around in this thing, Cole?
Yes! We are going to look snazzy as hell, Roy. That's how we're gonna
Closing
look.
one case opens another.
Do you have any idea what is really going on while we're wasting our time following this stuff?
Are you going to tell me?
The deals being done right now will change the face of LA forever, and we're wasting our time on some hump.
Someone's little girl.
Visit the morgue at the end of the month when the John
You
and
did
Jane
tons
go
of
in.
fishing. The beach was amazing. You forgot how much you love the
odds
beach.
for and against
Oh.
lightning striking.
So what I'm hearing, Test, is that if I get you to move out here for to be the chef of the business I want to open, that I have to pay you enough for you to take frequent vacations during the summer. I mean, I would hope that I could pay you that much. I just, you know, I have to make sure that it, and of course that you get like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks off a year, whatever that is. You have 11 first and second level spells to choose from and only 6 spell slots. That's the tough part about playing any spellcaster in D&D, for sure. You don't know if you'll ever go back to the kitchens full time? That's fine. I fully expect you to work your magic on a great menu and recipes, and then spend that time yelling at like a sous chef and make them do. That's why you picked a rogue. Trick us to do the wheel spin of spells and let that decide the spells for you. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, I don't know if the restaurant idea will ever happen, but if it does, I would definitely lean on you to help me out with that some. I don't know if I'm cut out for the restaurant business, especially after watching, what is it, Hell's Kitchen? No, Kitchen Nightmares. Kitchen Nightmares. Now if someone asks me where the fire is, I can tell them, I don't know, but I'm prepared. How far am I going, actually? Oh my god. Nope, I'm not doing it. Not doing it right now. I'm going back. I'm not traveling all the way across the city in a fire truck for one little side mission. It's not happening. It's just not happening. Beach was awesome. The house wasn't in complete disrepair, so that's good. That is very good. Got a few projects to do out there this winter, though. What kind of projects? What are you going to be working on? I know you were still looking for the gun safe. Do you have any leads on where that might be, or is that still just like it was sucked up by gremlins and it's lost in the ether? The floor joists are kind of in need of replacing. That sounds like a lot of work. Sounds like tearing up the floor, replacing the joists, obviously, and then putting it all back together. That sounds awful to do in the winter. Where's my bell? There's a bell that's ringing, but I don't see a bell on the car.
You can see these people, right?
Yeah, and they can see me. They can see me coming from a mile away. It's not my fault they're in the way. Oh, I love that we just rolled up in a fire truck. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Second floor. Apartment 6. In the back.
Thank you, sir. You have a few ideas of where it might be, but you have no idea on how to go about getting it without making guy who you think has it feel like a jerk or an idiot. Oh, you think someone else has it? Because you're pretty sure your dad's best friend has it and just doesn't know he has it. Okay, so question number one. Why does he have it and how does he not know he has it? And question number two, why would that make him feel like a jerk or an idiot?
Bukowski, you made homicide.
That I did. Good to see you, Phelps.
You two want a hug?
Okay, he's scatterbrained.
Can we get on with this?
Relax, Rusty.
26 years old, fashion model. Found in the tub by the cleaning lady, Mrs. Reynoldson. She called it in.
We heard Carruthers thinks...
Carruthers likes to make work for people. Overdose of sleeping pills. Falls asleep in the tub. Rest in peace. Case closed.
Dad lived with him and his wife for a bit before moving out here to Colorado. Ah.
Do you mind if I take a look around?
Sure. Go right ahead. Phelps?
Mal, we've had a look around. Rusty thinks it's a waste of time. What's your theory?
Come on, Mal. Tell us why we were dragged down here.
If the victim was alive when she entered the tub, water would have entered her lungs.
The water is violently churned in the windpipe as she drowns. The result is that a lot of foam is generated. This foam is found at the mouth and nostrils in almost all cases of real drowning. Notice anything about our Vic?
May I took a look?
Be my guest. Take a closer look at her head and neck.
I haven't looked around the apartment yet. I didn't realize I needed to do that. You don't know how to say, hey, idiot, let me search your house for my dad's gun safe without actually saying that? I mean, you could just say, hey, is there any possibility that my dad might have left it here when he lived with you guys?
Smoking jacket.
A girl like that,
I don't know anyone under 45 who would wear one.
maybe she got her heart broken.
Hey, Stasnak, how you doing, buddy?
So she ran herself a bath and down some pills, and then she just drifted off.
I don't know. Julie, she always had so much fire, so much drive. I'm sorry.
Looks like barbiturates.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not aware, and what harm would it be for you to just look around and be like, hey, yeah, I think you might have it.
Barbiturates. What else is rattling around in this thing? We should speak to a doctor. Prescribing both drugs would make her life a roller coaster.
He claims Pops never left it there. Okay, so you've talked to him about it, and he says that it's not there. I see. I see where the dilemma comes in. I mean, if you're on good speaking terms with him, maybe you can just be like, humor me. Maybe. Viewed a house, put in an offer on the house, waited 3 hours, and then found out the seller already accepted a lower offer from their niece. Great.
Don't think this is anything.
Don't you just love when there's no communication to your realtor and you? That happened to Lauren and I. We saw one house that she absolutely loved and I was iffy on, but I was like, you know what? We could move into it and it would be fine. And we said, let us know if anyone else puts in an offer. They never told us, and someone else bought it. We're on good terms. He came out to see Pops while he was in the hospital. He's like, brother. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, if he's on good terms, then I'm sure you could probably just be like, hey.
This is all top end of town stuff. Gives us somewhere to look. There's been a modeling assignment. It's a place to start.
You just hit level 3 and unlocked your rogue subclass? Ooh, are you going Arcane Trickster?
Beautiful girl. Clothes certainly aren't from the Sears catalog.
Your agent is the one who ought to be angry, pretty unprofessional of his colleague that was selling the house. The seller was an elderly woman who likely lost her husband. Not gonna get pissed at her. You assume she made the sentimental choice. Yeah, and I mean, I can totally understand, you know, having some favoritism over family. But, like, don't put your house on the market if family is gonna buy it, you know? Or, like, put it on the market, but don't let your realtor actually, you know, show it to people. Because, yeah, that's just unprofessional, like you said.
Her neck is bruised pretty badly.
Oh, the offer was already accepted. Oh, that's dumb. I hate people sometimes.
Bruising on the forearms, and these look like bite marks.
Very good.
We're gonna work my way up from beat cop to mortician.
Very unusual ring.
I could be wrong, but it looks like a black sapphire. The eyes are a classic sign of morphine, and the bruises tell their own story. I think one man held her down and another held her arm and injected her. They put her in the bath to try to cover it as a drowning.
And spread a trail of barbiturates.
Assassin's a good
Take a look around
choice.
outside on your way out and see if you can find the Surrettes. It would make my theory.
And morphine would have been very quick, and there wouldn't have been much of a struggle.
Okay, so find two guys who recently bought Surrettes and weren't junkies, and you might be onto something.
All right, let's talk to the housekeeper, I guess.
I'm Detective Phelps. I'm here to try.
How's the solving going? So far, so good.
mind
We're
answering some questions?
on to the
Virginia
next
Reynoldston.
case here.
I'm just so shocked. I feel like there's something I should be doing, someone I should call.
Poor girl who
We
has
can make those calls,
probably been murdered
Who needs to be notified?
by morphine that we're
That's
trying to
just it.
track down.
I don't know. Miss Julie doesn't have any family in town. Someone has to set her affairs in order. Mr. Henderson, maybe? Who else is there? I don't know.
If you give the details to the other detectives, ma'am, they can try and get in contact.
Okay.
Was Miss Randall depressed about something? Upset?
No more than normal.
Would she have killed herself for a man?
Seriously?
Miss Julie would never have killed herself. She was a very determined young lady. One of those people who shake the tree for all it's worth.
And I'm getting annoyed at the standard game crappiness of, here are these pre-selected choices that you have no idea what context it's under.
Did Miss Randall have many friends visit?
I'm not sure. I only come around twice a week.
Men friends, Mrs. Reynoldson. Spill it.
I know, right? He just goes
I will
around
not
screaming.
spread gossip about Miss Julia. She was very nice to me.
Like she was
I
lying
don't care
for
if she was
sure.
the Virgin Mary sister. Who was she humping?
But I thought
You
she
changed
was
the
just
sheets.
You're disgusting. If you're going to take that tone,
deflecting.
I won't answer any more questions.
Did I get that one wrong too? Seriously, I got them both wrong? I hate this. I hate this so much.
Second floor.
Want to play some Baldur's Gate?
Apartment 6.
I do not own Baldur's Gate. I do not plan on picking it up because I have so many other games that are on my list and that I am playing. I have half a mind to ask Salad and Varian if after I play this, if they want to try and play Divinity more frequently. So many games.
Not much help.
Also, as much as I love D&D, I don't know if I would be down to play D&D the video game. Like, I feel like video game just takes it out of D&D, you know? I don't know how it is. I mean, it could be a great game, but that's just what it feels like. Like, there's so much that you can do as a tabletop RPG that you can't code into a video game. Yeah. I think I've been asked by 4 or 5 people if I currently am playing Baldur's Gate and if I want to play it with them. And I've turned down every single person
English smoking
because I don't have the time.
I don't know anyone under 45
don't have the
would
time to
wear one.
dedicate to it. That's why you didn't get Baldur's Gate 3. You grew up on CRPGs, moved on to tabletop RPGs, and don't care about computer RPGs anymore. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. You think they do? Okay. Well, that's good to hear. Not that I, you know, doubted it. I haven't played many games like it, but I figure if I'm gonna play one, it's gonna be a tabletop RPG.
What else is rattling around in this thing? We should speak to her doctor. Prescribing both drugs would make her life a roller coaster. We've had a look around. It's just a waste of time. What's your theory?
Maybe
on, Mel.
one day I'll
Tell
get
us why
around to
we were
playing it,
dragged
but
down here.
If the victim was alive when she entered the tub, water would
I
have
just
entered
so
her
many
lungs.
games, so many
The water
games,
is
so little
violently
time.
churned in the windpipe as she
Especially if I
drowns.
get
The
my
result is that a lot of foam is generated.
my community
This
PC
foam
up
is
and
found
running
at the
and
mouth
start
and
hosting some
nostrils in
servers on
almost
stuff,
all
then
cases
I'm
of
gonna
real
have my
drowning.
life taken over
Notice anything
by
about our Vic?
community
Yeah, take a look.
games,
Be my guest.
whatever those might be.
Take a closer look at her head and neck.
Her neck is bruised pretty badly.
All the games, which I posted in my Discord about.
Bruising on the forearms and
I got my
knees.
RAM and I got my hard
Bite
drives,
marks.
but I need a screw
Very
for the
good.
hard drive, so I ordered some, and I needed a new Windows 10 boot USB, so I had to order a new USB. And then after swapping out the hard drive, we'll see if that resolves the issues that I've been having with it not wanting
Could be
to
wrong, but it looks like a black
boot up with
sapphire.
any sort of graphic.
The eyes are a classic sign of morphine, and the bruises tell their own story. I think one man held her down, and another
Which is
held her arm
frustrating,
and
that
injected
it's
her.
just not
Put her in the bath to try to cover
sending
his
video
drowning.
signal, and I can't figure
Spread
out
a
why.
trail of barbiturates.
Take a look around outside on your way out and see if you can find the Syrettes. It would make my
Yeah.
theory.
Well, the weird thing
Morphine would have
was,
been very quick,
when it
and there
first
wouldn't have been much
booted,
of a
it was
struggle.
booting just fine to
Okay,
Windows.
so
I
find
actually
two
got to
guys who recently
update
bought
Windows and
Syrettes and weren't
everything like
junkies,
that.
and you might be onto
And then all of a sudden, I think it was the RAM that I had was giving it trouble. And so I
Yes.
returned that
Detective
RAM
Phelps.
and found my
Here to
old
try and
RAM,
help Julia.
and I'm still having the trouble of
Virginia
it
Reynolds
booting.
said,
So I'm wondering if
I'm
it's a
just
hard
so
drive.
shocked.
And it's just
I
not
feel like
properly
there's
booting to
something I should be
Windows,
doing,
but it's
someone I should call.
posting just fine, which tells me
We
that the
can make those
motherboard
calls,
is
ma'am.
okay.
Who
But
needs to be notified?
That's just
maybe
it.
Windows isn't.
I don't know. Miss Julie doesn't have any family
It's an old
in
hard
town.
drive, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's
Someone
dead.
has to set her affairs in order. Mr. Henderson, maybe? Who else is there? I don't know.
Yeah,
If you get the
it'll
details to
display
other
the
detectives, ma'am, they can
BIOS.
Try and get in contact.
No problem. Displays BIOS, no problem. Will not
Miss
display
Randall depressed about something. Upset.
any operating system.
No more than normal.
So I'm assuming that it's the hard drive
What
at
are
this
you
point.
hiding here, Mrs.
Because I've tried
Felsen?
2 different graphics
Julie was
cards, 2 different
obviously disturbed
monitors.
about something.
Nothing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Feel like it's gotta be the sleeping pills. You've totally never, ever, ever, not never accidentally plugged your monitor into a display port that was just for show before. I have done that. I have 100% plugged my monitor into the motherboard port when it should be in the graphics card port. And I'm not afraid to admit that, because we all make mistakes sometimes. Even seasoned IT professionals. But that is not the case this time.
I can't
I've
stand
tried
around
both.
here all day waiting for you. Her face beneath the water? I need to do something.
Is this the setup or Naked City? This is Naked City. Yes, I am looking this up because I'm tired of quitting and reloading. Sleeping pills. Hey, I was right.
She was taking barbiturates. She couldn't sleep.
You've never felt so
must have
stupid
seen
before
them
in
in
your
her
life because your
room.
friend was like, "Is it plugged in right?"
You've seen the pill
And you were
box.
pretty hard about
Then
how,
she
of course
hid
it
in
is.
there.
You're not stupid, and then it wasn't.
I don't know how she supported herself.
Wasn't
that me,
Test?
New clothes and jewelry. She lived like a movie star. A princess. Does modeling really pay that well?
Did Miss Randall have many friends visit?
I'm not sure. I
Oh, it
only
was your
come
first
around
PC
twice
build
a
years and years ago. Okay.
Why are you lying to me, Mrs. Reynoldson? Julia had men.
It's been a minute since you've done that, but it's only because the last
speak
time
ill
you
of
did
the
it,
dead.
it still stings. Oh,
You can't
yeah.
prove that.
It still stings. Knowing that I've done it in the past, it still stings.
Who owns the smoking jacket?
I wouldn't like to tell tales, you understand. That's Mr. Henderson's. An older man,
I
very
feel like
distinguished looking.
with your current one, wasn't it like the motherboard shorted or something?
Where would we
Or the
find
power
it?
supply shorted?
I'm sorry, I don't know. He said he lives in San Francisco.
What was it like working for Miss Randall?
Perfectly fine, officer.
Mrs. Reynoldson, it seems like there's something you want to tell me.
She was very high-strung. Lovely one moment and screaming.
Yeah,
at me
I
the
remember
next.
because you turned it on. You were like, it made
She wanted it all, and she wanted
a
it damn
pop sound,
quick.
and I was like,
Of course, being so
it's
beautiful,
either the
it seemed
power
like she was
supply or
going
the
to get it.
motherboard. I think it was the
The way
motherboard. I
it's
think you had to
turned
get a
out,
new
though, is
one.
it?
Thanks, Mrs. Reynoldson. You've been very helpful.
Or
One of
was
the
it the
other
power
detectives will take your
supply?
statement, and then you can go home.
I think you returned the power supply and then the motherboard. I think you did both, if I remember
Stefan,
right.
Rusty, we'll take a look around outside and then follow up these leads. Can you get some guys to run down the jacket?
You think it was the
Carruthers
PSU?
called it
Oh,
right?
okay.
He rarely gets it wrong.
I don't know. I'm a Galloway.
I guess,
I've
yeah,
met
like
enough girls
a
in my time who can't handle their
um
dope.
not resistor, not transistor. Hey, that looks like a morphine syringe.
Mal will be pleased.
Well, that's hardly conclusive, given the number of those things we've come across recently.
Capacitor. Thank you. Yeah, capacitor is what I was
Thompson
looking
will
for.
confirm it one way or another.
Yeah, if something pops, it's a capacitor. I just couldn't remember the name. Oh, this is fancy. Can I not? Oh, that was weird. Oh, I'm not done here? Robots in disguise. Bite marks, yep. 2 suspects. Black sapphire ring. Got all that. Pills on the floor, smoking jacket. Modeling job, dress shop. Yeah, that looks to have been everything. Okay. So maybe we'll come back here later. Usually that's crossed out. You're gonna go take some ibuprofen and then make din-din? That sounds like a good idea. What's for din?
Bukowski, Galloway, quite the little reunion in there. Almost brought a tear to my
Lord
eye.
bottom half.
How would you know? You got promoted so fast you barely had time to learn their names. Let me fill you in. Bukowski's a pushover. Galloway's a drunk.
You could learn a thing or two from both of them.
Please. They couldn't work a vice case if their life depended on it.
I don't see why they'd be any better or worse at it than me.
I notice you said better. Hubris disguised as humility. Kind of your trademark, don't you think?
Why do you always twist everything? Galloway's got nothing to prove. He's been on homicide for years.
And he's welcome to it. You're a terrier, Phelps, and that's what I need. Not some old bulldog who can't get up a flight of stairs without coughing up his lunch.
Union in the vicinity of 211 in progress at 3rd and Union. Stand by for further unit to handle identity.
This one is all the way across the map? Yeah, not going to that. Do we? I don't think that was common knowledge. Ooh, pot pie. Pot pie does sound good. It had Battlemaster selected first. You kind of feel you should keep that for the NPCs. Oh, get the Yankee Fighter a Battlemaster or a Champion? I mean, do whatever you think sounds most fun. Or whatever you're lacking in the party composition. So I guess the question that I have is, do they have all the classes available or just the base, like, what is it, 8?
Well, hello. What can I help you with today?
LAPD, ma'am.
I hope I haven't done anything wrong.
No, ma'am. We're making some inquiries about Julia Randall. Does she work here?
No, I had to let her go. Is she in some sort of trouble?
She was found dead this morning. How long had Julia worked as a model?
Well, she worked in New York before coming here. She was a very beautiful girl.
Could you tell us why you let Miss Randall go?
Husbands sometimes come in here with their wives. When Julia Randall modeled, the husbands were often more interested in her than they were their wives' dresses. The wives weren't happy, and neither was I.
Did she have
She
any
was
close
too
friends
pretty.
here?
Actually, yes. Heather Swanson. Would you like to speak with her?
I'd like that very much. Please
What
don't
is-
inform her about Miss Randall's death.
Very well, officer.
What is the other one?
These gentlemen are from the LAPD.
Other description.
I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. I understand that you worked with Julia Randall, Miss Swanson?
You didn't even bother to look at the rest. You just saw Barbarian and said, "That's it. I'm good."
She's not in any kind of trouble, is
She's
she?
a hellraiser, isn't she? Lives a fast life.
Oh, no. Maybe Mrs. Stanley would call her that, but I wouldn't. She's full of life, wonderful company.
That's a lovely engagement ring.
Do you like it? Henry gave it to
I'm
me.
very interested in engagement rings. Do you mind if I take a closer look? That's some pearl, Miss Swanson. Would have cost Henry a fortune. He must really love you.
That pearl looks like it was broken.
How did you meet
You
Julia?
didn't even scroll
I was
through the rest of them. I
introduced
guess that's
through my
fair.
fiancé,
That's very
Henry
fair.
Arnett.
It only shows you what you get at that immediate level, not what unlocks further down the line. Oh, that kind of sucks.
Henry
Then you're
Chapeau.
kind of stuck with
Tell us about it.
what you have.
Yes, he is. Henry has a fashion business. He and Julia have been friends for years.
So you said Battlemaster or Champion. So Battlemaster tends to have, in base D&D, it has a lot of options that let you, like, buff your teammates, if I remember right, and they get specific, what are they called? They get certain moves, and I can't remember the specific name of them, that let them do special things. The maneuvers, yes, superiority dice, thank you both. Those were the words that I was looking for.
Are Miss Randall and Mr. Henderson engaged?
Who's he?
She was wearing a sapphire engagement ring. Someone must have given it to her.
She never mentioned a man named Henderson to me.
That's all for now, Miss Swanson. Could you ask your fiancé to visit Hollywood Police Station? It would be very helpful to our inquiry.
Now, wait a moment. I don't think I'll pass on that message until you tell me why you're asking all these questions.
Julia Randall was found dead this morning.
What? Oh, no. Oh, I can't believe it. She was so full of life.
Not when I saw her. Hey, I hit max rank. Sick. Such a cool mechanic that is debilitatingly limited. You could say that about literally everything related to D&D, if I'm honest. So many very cool ideas and concepts that were cut down in their prime.
Nice move not telling old Sweet Lips in there about her friend taking the big jump till we were half out the door. Very slick.
I figured we'd get more out of her that way.
You're learning, Phelps. We'll make a vice cop out of you yet.
Gotta have a cool DM to allow custom stuff. Rule over cool over rules is written. 100%. And that's one of the reasons why I find it unappealing to play a D&D-esque game via computer. Like, if you make it an MMO or like a standard RPG and not something that's trying to be digital D&D, I'd be all over it. But digital D&D has less appeal to me. Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right. I feel like fighter in general, monks, rangers, all had that. Even warlock to some extent had that. Can I just play a cool version of this? Can I play a version of this that isn't quite so limiting? Dr. Stoneman, 5th floor.
Here, Stoneman, office 505.
I cast my 2 spells and now I'm sleepy. Some warlock. Yes, exactly. Thank you. So many people are like, no, warlocks are so cool and overpowered. And it's like, yeah, if you do anything for more than 5 minutes, they're not, though. You either hold on to your spells and hope that you can use them at some fun time, or you use them immediately and then regret it 10 minutes later.
I swear, if we locked up every doctor in this town, Vice would be able to work half days.
Oh, was it Ingle? You'll have to tell me more about your experience with that warlock in a quote-unquote splat book.
Yes, sir, your name?
LAPD. We'd like to see Dr. Stoneman.
Dr. Stoneman is with a patient. Would you like to wait?
No, we wouldn't. Tell him we want to see him now.
There's no need to be rude.
Save it, sister.
Dr. Stoneman, I have some gentlemen from the LAPD here to see you.
Send them in, please. I'll see this patient again after they've left.
Your investigation is much more important than my sciatica. I'm just in pain here. Leave me alone.
You want to go? I will shoot you. Take your mind off all that pain.
Dr. Stoneman, we are investigating the death of one of your patients, Julia Randall.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Do you mind if we ask you some questions about Ms. Randall?
Not if it doesn't compromise doctor-patient privilege, Detective.
You don't know if fighter fits into that. Fighter is the most versatile in your opinion. Besides, you don't play fighter to be interesting in combat. You play fighter to not have to think during combat so you can focus on creating an amazing story. I can understand that. Okay, Shadow, have a good dinner. We will see you a little bit later. Here, so the way that I look at it, I feel like every class except for like Monk has some interesting gimmicks, but doesn't ever truly feel super powerful. Ranger has some interesting gimmicks, but doesn't ever feel super powerful. Fighter has some interesting gimmicks, but doesn't ever feel super powerful. Rogue feels super powerful to start with, and then peters off very quickly.
Detective?
Wizard
Tell me, do you
and
often
Sorcerer
lose focus like this?
both feel very powerful, but are very slow to start, very squishy. But when it comes to action economy later on, it's just like, I can do all the things and bend the world to my whim. Warlock feels like a fourth of either of those. Bard is like the ultimate, it doesn't matter what you do, you're just going to tell a good story and hope that you can help out your teammate. Hexblade from Xanathar. Becca, congratulations on your engagement. The ring was beautiful, and I loved the pictures. I'm so very happy for you two. Action Surge lets fighters feel powerful. Rogues feel goated because advantage is so easy to get for their sneak attack dice. Yep. You're very welcome. Where did you guys end up going for
How well did you know Miss Randall?
for this little surprise getaway.
She'd only been a patient 6 months or so.
Julia Randall has been your patient for nearly a year. I'm sure you know that.
Do you doubt my veracity, detective? Do you have access to my patient records?
Your prescriptions contradict you, Doctor.
Miss Randall was in the fashion business, as you probably know. She was jumped up on Benzedrine by day and knocked down by sleeping pills at night. I told her to slow up, but no. Life was too short for her.
And you supplied the prescription
Yeah, it
for
ran
the
out
Benzedrine.
just the other night.
It's not illegal, detective. A lot of young women in her line of work use it for weight loss.
You really missed the limited sneak attacks from earlier editions, like you really enjoyed constructs or undead messing up a rogue. You couldn't get sneak attack on constructs or undead in earlier ones, really? Ooh. Estes Park. It was a planned trip all summer, and then he turned it into an engagement trip. It was magical in a chilly, rainy weekend in the mountains. That sounds delightful. Absolutely delightful. Test if, I'm sure you know Mother of Chaos. She is now Squatchy's fiance. Hi, Shayla. It's good to see you. I don't think I've ever been to Estes Park, but now I want to go. I bet you are. I bet you're happy for many reasons, and I'm very happy for you both. I'm so excited for you both.
Detective? Tell me, do you often lose focus like this?
You wrote Julia Randall a prescription for Benzedrine. How can you account for that?
Miss Randall was in the fashion business. She wanted to control her weight.
Benzedrine is addictive, as I'm sure you know, Doctor.
Shayla, I didn't know you were
but she was
close to there.
She said
I don't
she
even know
needed
where it
to
is,
control
but
her
I'm
appetite.
assuming
Sounds like you knew her pretty
near
well.
enough to that general
I knew
area.
the line of work she was involved in.
That'll be all for now, Dr. Stoneman. We'll be in touch.
I'm on the short list of that's invited. 100%. I will make the time to come out there. I might have to bring a dog if I have a +1.5. You can meet Plum. I'm very honored. Thank you. Yeah, I would love to come. Just send me details and I'll see what I can make happen. The whole thing was only being able to sneak attack living creatures with discernible anatomy. It made it so you could throw in some low-level stuff, and now the rogue has to work around them while the fighter handles the masses or whatever. Kind of lent to more interesting teamwork. Oh, I like that concept. Yeah, 5e is definitely everyone can handle everything because everything just has hit points and it doesn't matter. Like an hour away from you. Oh, well, snap. Yeah, do it. I would love to see it. I love getting to see scenic places. I was very happy to get to drive through Yellowstone Park. I never thought I would ever see Yellowstone Park, but it was really cool to see what that part of the country looks like, and then to make it through the rest of like Montana and Wyoming and, you know, all those places until it got really flat in Nebraska was kind of sucky, but you know, the rest of those places were really gorgeous. I loved watching the storms roll over the mountains and all that. Oh. I can't wait to hear all about it, Becca. Honestly, I genuinely can't. I'm so happy for you two. When I saw that, I think I squealed a little bit. And then... Actually, I might have seen that before Lauren woke up, so I didn't want to wake her. I'm going to have to show her the engagement pictures now. One of these days, we're going to spend some actual time in Yellowstone, Cody. What do you mean by actual time? You can camp in Yellowstone?
Operator, give me dispatch.
I feel like that's a dumb question.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
You're in Broomfield and work
Messages
north
for
all
me,
day.
please.
I'm not sure where that is, but I'll have to look that up later.
The coroner's been asking to speak to you. I can connect the call if you like.
Favorite D&D is 2nd edition. How does one backstab undead without vital organs or a specter that doesn't have a body? That's a good point.
Can you get over here? I just finished the autopsy.
Sure thing, Mal. We'll be right over.
That's a very good point, Stasnak. Like, spend a week there hiking, seeing the wildlife, all that good stuff. You drove through it, but you haven't experienced it. That's fair. That is very fair. I would love to do that. That sounds like fun. I think it would be a lot of fun to get Lauren and Plum and all of us together and go and do that. Started with 2E, but something about 3.5 really gripped you. You agree, you hate the new, you can sneak attack whatever you want. Do you know if Pathfinder's any different?
The old boy's lying.
About what?
I don't know. He looked relieved when you said she was dead. That's a strange reaction to have to the death of a young patient.
I bet they were sleeping together. Howdy ho, Braz. How you doing, buddy? You still have to make this dough for the pot pie, so you're gonna dip and lurk. No worries. Go ahead and dip. Enjoy your dinner, my dude. Thank you for hanging out, and I will catch you later. You went to Rocky Mountain National and hiked, and it was amazing. Where's Rocky Mountain National? Suddenly, I wish my job would have let me move to Wyoming or Montana. I feel like Lauren would have loved it there. You don't know enough about Pathfinder 2nd edition to say it with certainty, but you assume they kept it similar since that's kind of their design philosophy. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Hollywood Receiving Hospital. Okay. To keep things feeling unique and not go full Bethesda.
Crokers only pull out the physician-patient privilege card when they got something to hide?
There are certain things people have a right to keep private.
Until it gets in the way of police work. And it's only private when it suits them. A couple of drinks and every doctor I've met will spill your darkest secrets in a heartbeat.
Gonna kill someone!
Well, maybe in the future. Part of the reason why I am building a house is to have some good investment and equity to be able to sell it and do something later. So one of these days, you know, Illinois is not my forever home. It is just a step in the tall ladder.
Detectives Phelps and Earl here to see the coroner.
Yes, Detective. He's waiting for you in the examination room.
Cole, Roy, I have some information for you.
You got two bodies.
You're the only person enjoying this, Mal. Get on with it.
The bruising confirms 2 sets of hands, so we have 2 killers. Death was caused by heart failure due to an overdose of morphine.
Have you dragged us down here to gloat? We already heard your theory.
We agree that she was murdered.
Yes, of course.
I have something else to show you.
All right, Mal, what gives?
The dead guy's name is Jimmy LeBlanc, career burglar. He came in this morning. Someone stove his head in with a lump of 2x4.
So what? Good riddance.
I found 2 Syrettes in his jacket pocket.
Wow.
Hang on a minute, Roy. We're listening, Mal.
No sign of morphine use and no metabolized morphine in his blood. Scratch marks on his face.
Which could be from getting his head remodeled.
Time of death, Mal.
Maybe an hour or 2 after the Randall girl.
So you're saying Laughing Boy here could be one of our killers? That's a hell of a long shot.
Thanks, Mal. We'll check it out.
I found something else.
Is that a harmonica?
Sorry, I don't play.
I don't know if it's significant. His wallet was empty.
Owner.
The only other things he was carrying were the harmonica and the morphine. Carruthers. Yeah, he's here. I'll send him over. They have a guy called Henry Arnett in interview 2 for you next door. Let me know how you get on.
Sure, Mal. And thanks for the lead.
Sure, Mal. Thanks for the lead.
One of these days, Roy is gonna wind up in the morgue, and Mal's just gonna say, "Oh well."
Get any on the side.
Yeah, I absolutely despise Roy. The first guy, great. Absolutely loved the first. Absolutely. Oh, just gotta walk over here. Absolutely loved the first partner we had. Rusty, I wanted to punch him. He was a dingle dong.
Arnett is in interview too, Phelps. Go help him get whatever it is off his chest.
First interview.
I think we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
Mr. Arnett, I'm Detective
And
Phelps.
I
This is
despise
Detective
Roy.
Earl. Thanks for coming in.
I hope he dies.
Call me Henry. It's the least I could do. Terrible news about Julia.
How well did you know Julia Randall?
Vaguely. I'm in the clothing business, and Julia occasionally modeled for me.
Where's the phone?
He's asking whether you banged her in a chuck on the shoulder fraternity kind of way.
I'm engaged to be married. It wouldn't be polite.
Answer the question.
This will remain private. Heather won't have to know. Yes. We had relations.
Of course you did. Couldn't keep it in your pants.
Miss Randall's landlady said she was seeing an older man.
Could have been. I wasn't privy to all the details of Julia's private life.
Henry, I don't like when people lie to me. She was seeing a man named Henderson. You know who I'm talking about.
Easy on, detective. I may have heard of Henderson, but I don't know his full name. I think he's from New York or someplace back east.
That's funny. Julia told her cleaning lady that he lived in San Francisco.
Okay, you got me. I don't know where he's from. Julia wanted money. She always wanted money. She thought she could get something from this guy.
She was wearing a distinctive engagement ring. You think she might have convinced him to buy it for her?
Maybe he did, yeah. Maybe he and Julia were getting serious.
Ever heard of a Jimmy LeBlanc?
No. Should I have? Is he an entertainer or something?
So you wouldn't have any reason to believe that LeBlanc would be involved in Julie Randall's murder?
If this guy is a criminal, he might have been involved. But like I said, I've never heard of this LeBlanc character.
Heather told us that you were in fashion.
That's right.
How long is this gonna take?
Some kind of traveling salesman?
Once I got out of the Corps, I used my...
You were in the Marines?
Sure. I'm proud of it. Fighting 6th.
You were in the 6th Marines?
Yes. I was a captain.
Which company?
Various companies. We had a lot of casualties.
Which engagements?
Okinawa. A couple of other places.
That will be all for now, Henry. You've been very helpful.
Calling his bluffs. Oh boy.
That son of a bitch was never in the Marines. Why'd you let him off the hook?
Because we're giving him a couple of minutes before we start tailing him. Arnett is an amateur. We need to find out who killed the girl.
He does lie a
Pass this
lot.
on to Bukowski. Have him check the place out and go through his records.
Sure, I'll pass it on.
Thanks. Can you also have R&I run the records on a Jimmy LeBlanc and find out who was his last arresting officer? Have them get in touch via KGPL when they have some information.
He's in that car at the lights.
He was squirming like a worm in there. Don't you love it when they pull the war hero excuse? Actually, maybe you don't.
I'd have expected a cad.
You
like
lie
Arnett
1 or
to be a
20
better
times and
liar.
suddenly you're the bad guy? Yeah? I mean, if you're lying about anything, you're probably the bad guy. Let's be real. You know, I was just sitting here thinking that it would be a lot of fun to be able to have a moment
taking us, Henry?
to tail someone in GTA during RP as the cops. I think it would be so much fun to get to do that, but I can't think of a time. Like, we really got to set up some good story beats to have a moment like that, you know? I think we could do it, though.
That idiot never stepped foot in Okinawa.
Oh, that's what you're upset about? Not the fact that he's probably an accomplice to this girl's murder?
He needs money and fast. Get in there and find out what he pawned. I'll stick with him, see how he intends to spend the money. Move in. Can't risk losing the trail.
Hoof it, Phelps. I'll bring the car around when I'm done here.
You always thought it would be fun to run events in an RP server or something, like set up little stories for other people to go through. Absolutely don't have time. 100%. I have thought and would love to do similar things. I was watching a video the other day that popped up in my YouTube feed. It's about some people playing Space Engineers, and they had a full-on, like, sector, like, sectioned out sector map of their star system, and Space Engineers is a name you haven't heard in a long time. Same. It's been a while since I've heard Space Engineers too. Please tell me he's going left. Okay, good. Anyway, so they there were 3 factions. One was a rebel faction, one was like
Too much slack. Gotta get closer.
One was like a Confederacy Union or something like that. That was trying to control the space. And there he is.
Move in. Can't risk losing the trail.
Anyway, and then the third faction was a single large ship, and they had like specifications to how the ships could be and how powerful and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So the single ship ended up allying with the rebels to take on the Union. The Union started building some battleships.
That's right, Mexico City.
They all ended
One-way
up
ticket
banding
fees.
together at
Next
one
to
point
Bellas.
to fight against
That would be
a new force.
one
It
day
was,
from now.
but it was super cool to hear how they RP'd it all throughout a year. You know, you'd love to set up something like that for the PD, but you always prefer organic stuff.
LAPD, the man who just came in here, he bought a ticket?
Yes, sir. To Mexico City tomorrow night.
If you hear from him again, don't mention this conversation.
Hi, Plum. Hi, buddy.
What have you got?
He bought a ticket from Mexico City tomorrow night.
That's good, but this is better.
My God, it's Fabergé.
Should have seen the look on the pawnbroker's face when I told him to hand it over. The guy who owned the joint thought it was worth at least 10 large for a cigarette case. Arnett only got 600 clams.
Dearest Beverly, with love and affection, always. Organic stories versus planned ahead of time with set beats and everyone is aware of, but that is also difficult to do without going off in a direction you don't anticipate. But that taking a left turn when stories collide is one thing you really dig about RP, GTA RP in particular. Hey Vice, good to see you. It's been a hot minute. How have you been, man? So like,
Car 11K, 11 King, come in.
Go ahead, KGPL.
11K, go to Hollywood Station. Homicide detectives Bukowski and Galloway have information relating to the Randall case.
Roger, KGPL. 11K, en route.
Car 11K, car 11 King, come in.
you fell asleep,
Car
didn't
11
you?
King, go ahead.
You're cute.
R&I reports the last arresting officer for DOA Jimmy LeBlanc was Patrolman Fred Wallace, who's working a shift on Hollywood 9th Beat, Sunset Boulevard between Gordon and Wilcox.
Car 11K, en route.
A one-way ticket to Mexico. Old Henry's looking as guilty as a dog next to a pile of dog shit.
What's his motive?
I can think of a few, but I'd put my money south of the belt. One guy plus two dames always equals problems.
I am doing well, Vice. Thank you. I'm excited, super excited for Payday 3 coming out in a couple of weeks. I'm toying with maybe starting streams an hour earlier and ending an hour earlier. I would love to play some if you are down for having people to play with. Down to clown, as my girlfriend just said. Real quick, I want to touch on what Stasnak said. I don't want to play out pre-planned or scripted stories, but I would love to have a framework for organic stories to come up into. So like saying, hey, there's going to be a crim running around doing robberies or murders or car thefts or whatever, fine with being aware of that. That allows for the organic story driven of like having people come in and chase them down and try to make stuff happen and have the crim try to get away, versus like, okay, I'm going to rob this one and I want you to come in and say this or do this. Like that I don't want to do, but I would love to have the opportunity to set up some stuff that requires discrete tailing and stuff like this, watching someone and tailing them and trying to figure out where they're going to figure out where smuggled goods are or something like that. I just think that would be really cool. Yeah, the less out of character planning, the better. But it would be nice to have a little bit of framework just to support the rest of it instead of it being completely improv, if that makes sense. Hell yeah. Awesome. We'll have to set some time aside. Are you Central, Vice, East Coast? Oh, did I not have to call in because they radioed me? Okay. Eastern. Okay. Okay, so we are close enough that we shouldn't have any trouble trying to coordinate something. So that's very exciting. And of course, Ingle, you and I will also be playing some, 100%, without a doubt. Probably get Salad in on it if Salad wants to play. We got a 4-man right there. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking about trying to set up some kind of mod pack for, like, Minecraft. Because I feel like everyone's got Minecraft at this point, right? Like, just about everyone should have that to be able to play, or something.
Come on, let's give him a hand. Right behind you, Wallace. Detective Phelps.
Wallace, go left. I'm going right after this little prick in the alley.
What are we playing? You're kind of in and out. Payday 4 or Payday 3. Where'd this third guy come from? Why are there suddenly 4 people instead of 2 that we were chasing? I'm sorry? Like, to plan out a character, the kind of crime that is tailable, I think we should do. Yes. You kind of like the idea of keeping the tailing payoff a secret until someone does it. Yes.
Warrant, armed robbery.
The ability to tail, yes. Whether or not it pays off is the real question.
Bad luck for them. They're all yours now. We need some information.
Ever heard of a burglar goes by the name of Jimmy LeBlanc?
Sure. They nabbed Jimmy on a burglary beef a couple of years back. They cut through a music shop and into a jewelry store. He got 4 years. I miss his partner, though.
His partner?
I love it. Are you making those now?
I had him cornered.
Okay.
He picked up this huge display case and threw it out a plate glass window. Then he vaulted out of
I'm
there
okay
like
with
something
it.
out of Barnum and Bailey.
Got away.
I would have had him, except for LeBlanc yelling, "Run for it, Willie!"
And you think he was an acrobat of some sort?
More like a strongman, a wrestler, or a boxer, that kind of thing.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
You haven't done too badly yourself.
Almost ran over his fellow officers. I know, right? Dude pulled up onto that curb like he was gonna just run down the guys instead of shoot them. Probably could have kept him alive.
Is still working with Willie?
A strong man held down Randall while someone administered the morphine. Someone with muscle opened up LeBlanc's skull. Could be.
You've kind of hit your limit for the day, so you're falling asleep in your chair. No worries, my dude. Yeah, if you need to go to bed, go to bed. Like, I know it's only 8, or stay up for, you know, another hour, and then go to bed, because we'll be ending around 9:30 tonight. I'm playing with adjusting the stream schedule, because I want to be able to spend some time with Lauren before the end of the night, and streaming till 10, she's usually asleep by the time I'm done. So if I start at 6 and end at 9, then I get like an hour to spend with her and, you know, get to cuddle into bed and everything, which would be nice. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Ruin. But yeah, I am debating setting up like a modded Minecraft thing that is to incentivize roleplay and see if we can get a couple of people to build like factions and
We caught up with Mao. He's giving
have
us the
some
dope on
resource
LeBlanc.
restriction or
He worked
something, but we'll
burglaries
see.
with a big guy goes by the name of Willie. He He might be our killer. Can you work boxing gyms, the Y, promoters, that kind of stuff?
Since when have you started giving orders, Phelps? And where's the burglary angle? There was no sign of a...
That's where our net comes in. Next stop, we speak to Lacey about a list of recent burglaries.
Guy's a bum. His office is a front, and he's behind on the rent and his phone bill.
And he's skipping town tomorrow.
Let's get him in and beat it out of him.
Do you want to bring in the killer, Rusty?
It could be too smart for your own good, Phelps. We've been talking about that, haven't we, Roy? Stefan?
Finbar?
Sir, I need the contraband list. Items stolen over the last year.
Hang on, I'll dig out a copy for you. Here you go.
Thanks.
Ooh. Vice, you were the one who said that you played GTA RP and did the Cult of the Hand, right?
It's here. Arnett must be out of his mind trying to move this while under
The
a
Red
murder
Hand.
cloud.
Yeah, that's it. So, if you decide you want to join in... Oh.
Julia Randall's ring. It's here.
The ring is here, too. If you decide that you want to join in to the 1969 Boardwalk roleplay, I think I have a fun start for you. For your...
Seems Julia wasn't the first
your
board
cult.
society girl to hide her bennies in that pillbox.
Did you know, Mr. Mikowski?
And a pearl
Even the
ring.
engagement ring was purloined. Arnett is a cad.
Yeah, I'm thinking of moving up to a 40.
Yeah, I thought you might like that. I may have accidentally started something in that,
Extra, read all about it.
there is a mysterious figure known as the Red-Faced Man in the Boardwalk now, and it's canon. And it's all sorts of spooky. So the Red Hand, the Red-Faced Man, it just kind of works out, right?
So you and Rusty have been having discussions. Anything you would like to tell me, partner?
Phelps, don't be so touchy. Rusty had his best ever clearance rate working with you. Even if the cases he worked on can't be discussed. We were just comparing notes. You're a Booneroo case man, Phelps. One of the best I've ever seen.
Thanks.
You gotta learn to take a compliment, Phelps.
A hopped-up model, a cad, and a circus freak. Only in L.A.
Fairy tales of the rich and famous.
More like pathetic tales of the desperate to be rich and famous. Junkie Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Arnett, LeBlanc, and Willie.
Don't you go putting the pieces together again before they fit, Phelps. Listen to your old pal Rusty. Or should I say Finbar.
I wouldn't call him that if I were you.
What do you care? It doesn't sound like you're the top of his Christmas card list.
He gives everyone a hard time. That's just how he is.
Whatever gets you through the day, Cole.
God, I really hate you, Roy. You are the worst. Anyway, that came up at our at the last RP session that we had, and it made me think of you. And I was racking my brain to try to remember who did the cult stuff. And when you popped in today, I was like, oh, it was Vice. So I wanted to extend the offer again if you had the time or desire to join up, and we could have a lot of fun getting you set up with some culty stuff. Or whatever you want. Like, if you don't want to do the cult thing again, you could do anything. Hey, Cody-O. How's it going, my dude?
This, aren't you?
Cult 2, now it's Face Boogaloo. You know, it's funny you say cult too, because years ago when I was streaming, a couple of viewers formed a cult around the number 2.
Would you follow me, sir?
Based off of stuff that happened with my stream. So.
I am Mrs. Eastrom. How may I help you?
We appear to have recovered some stolen goods that belong to you, ma'am.
Yes, of course. That terrible burglary. Would you like something to drink?
No, thank you, ma'am. We have some questions,
Yes.
if you don't mind.
I am glad that the storm passed.
If you are
And I'm glad that my
returning
internet
pieces
is
of my
holding.
property.
Okay, before we get down
'Cause
to
it
that,
wasn't
I'll have a
last night.
scotch. Thanks, straight up.
Maria, can you get the detective a drink, please?
Sounds enticing. At the moment, you're very busy and don't have time to reestablish and recruit. You may just pop on to enjoy the vibes and see how the city takes on the concept. Absolutely, yeah. As much as I would love to have you be able to dedicate time to it, I totally understand. Even if you just want to pop in and set up your own little side storyline to make people aware and not actually do much, that is fine by me, because we'll run with it. We'll take it and we'll roll with it. Or if you just want to hop on and, you know, watch everyone else shoot each other's brains out, because that tends to happen with Jimmy and Johnny. Let's do it. You had a button in college that a religious friend gave you from religious camp that said,
Maria,
I'm number 2.
I think we'd best get this officer a drink to get
What is
him moving.
what does that mean, Stas? You think the concept was that God was number 1 and people that liked him were number 2? Ah, I was about to say, where does the
Can you describe to us what was stolen?
It would be easier to describe what wasn't stolen, detective.
where does that come into? But that makes sense. Yeah.
A priceless tiara that has been in the family for 50 years. A Fabergé cigarette case that was worth $25,000.
Why are you lying about the value of your jewelry, Mrs.
And
Eastrom?
as it goes right now, we tend to only play on Fridays because the server is still small, so it's not a huge investment either.
We recovered the cigarette case from a pawnbroker. No one knows the real value of an item better than those guys.
I inflated
You
its
love that
value
button
for
and
the
proudly
insurance
exclaimed
claim.
you're number
There.
2.
Are
Well,
you
you're number 1 in
satisfied?
my heart. How's that, Stasnak?
My daughter's boyfriend was quite taken with the case. I think he was even more disappointed than I was when it was stolen.
Use me.
What can you tell us about the burglary?
That terrible night, at least a year ago. But let's not go into that. Let's talk about what you've recovered.
Were you in the house when the burglary took place?
Good heavens, no. I was at a social function held by a Dr. Harold
Ah.
Stone and his lovely wife. I returned home and all of my things were missing.
That's about it for now, Mrs. Eastrom. The department will get in touch and let you know how you can recover your valuables.
That's sweet of you to say, but you're very joyful excrement.
Detective. What else has been recovered?
You see, Phelps?
You were the
That's why you get the
finest
drinks in
looking
early.
number 2 I've ever seen.
Hello, detectives. What is going on?
We'd like to ask exactly the same question.
You have met my daughter?
This morning at work. Oh, mother and father divorced. I took my father's name.
The detectives recovered some of the things that were stolen, darling.
Well, what did you find?
A sapphire ring on the corpse of Julia Randall.
What are you talking about?
Your engagement ring, Miss Swanson. Would you be surprised to know that it was part of the proceeds of a burglary?
That's an outrageous allegation.
Yes, it is. I suggest we go straight to Henry Arnett's place and sort this mess out.
Dang. We don't get to take her nice car? Shucks. So the deal with the red hand, there is the holy hand. There is the holy hand, the divine hand of creation, their god, also a subtle hint at developers and mods, and the red hand, the bloody hand of salvation that enforces the will of their deity. Oh. Curious. Speaking of the boardwalk, you think you have all the bugs worked out of Lowell? Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. What bugs did you end up resolving? Was there more than we realized on
Missing something
Friday?
Here. Arnett is obviously arranging the burglaries.
That's my fiance you're making scurrilous accusations about.
And Randall was obviously his partner.
But neither of them are the type to creep apartments.
You're being ridiculous, both of you. There's a very good explanation for all of this.
Put a sock in it, sister. You're being played for a patsy and you're not even smart enough to see it.
Lauren is making cookies, and I'm very excited. She's making panko cookies. Y'all ever had a panko cookie? Put a sock in it, sister. You're being played for a patsy. You're too dumb to realize. Never even heard of a panko cookie? Well, it's a cookie made with panko crumbs, if you were wondering. Panko, you're gonna need a few. What'd you say, Lauren? Oh. She has the recipe. I could get her to share it, but it's really good. They are both chewy, soft, and crunchy at the same time, and very tasty. You've heard of panko, but never in cookie form. So I know that you put some of the panko in the dough, and then I think you also like roll the doughed cookie. In panko and powdered sugar, if I remember right. Wait, you had never heard of panko at all? Hey, Duffy, graphic mod? What do you mean graphic mod? For this game, I do not have a graphic mod. The game looks crisp. It has aged surprisingly well for how old it is, but you can definitely see the age in it. I feel like I need to play Cyberpunk 2077 with like top like graphics on ultra just to be like, this is what top of the line games used to look like. This is what they look like now. You versus the guy your girl tells you not to worry about. But then you're playing 2077. I actually enjoyed Cyberpunk 2077. I played it through when it first came out on my GTX 970. That thing barely ran it. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. Thought the story was solid. Not the best, but, you know, it was decent. You just felt it was hugely lacking. I mean, I can see that. It definitely could have used a lot more to flesh it out.
Come on, sister. Let's find out who your fiance really is.
And I'm curious how much has changed since I played it, because there was definitely a lot of stuff that was like, okay, doing the main story and a couple of the side quests, you know, it felt like a live enough game, but there was also some stuff that was just
Welcome, sir.
really
I'm sorry, Are you a resident?
LAPD detectives. We're here to speak to Henry Arnett.
Oh, Mr. Arnett? Apartment 30. You can take the lift.
Thank you.
Well, isn't this just nice and awkward?
the lack of open world interaction and leveled enemies killed the gameplay for you. Were enemies leveled? Were they like, Elder Scrolls Online, where they scaled to your level and everything?
Stop! LAPD! Don't kill him, Cole. This guy's our case.
Go on,
Put your hands in the air.
They were leveled hard and you hated it. RP in this would be amazing. I keep thinking it would be incredible if we could rip some of the models and stuff from this game to use in the Boardwalk. Because, I mean, it is a Rockstar game. It wouldn't be hard.
Give it up, LAPD.
Oh, come on. It's barely giving me any time to go forward before it just drops me.
Looks like he got you good, Phelps.
Yeah, he really packs a wallop. How did I get back here?
Under your own steam, miraculously. You came in through the window, said hello, and then keeled over.
How was Arnett?
He's coming around, too. He's all hopped up. Good time to get some answers.
You missing something, Henry?
Was that the guy that I chased? Or did the other guy get away? Not sure which issues you were aware of, but the free falling to bleed out seems to be fixed, but you probably won't use last location as a spawn point ever. Being locked inside the hospital was hilarious but irritating. There were a couple of other minor issues, but need less to say you were on Lowell version 2. That's fair. Last location has worked for me every single time I've used it without any issues, so that's interesting, but I remember seeing your ticket about it. And I think the hospital is getting fixed too, for what it's worth. I think we're removing all the locks off of the hospital because we don't necessarily need it.
Vacheron Constantine. That's an extremely expensive watch, Henry.
You had a moment where you fought some gang members, absolutely wrecked them, went across the street and fought 3 more identical guys, but they were higher level and would 2-shot you while tanking multiple magazines to the head. Oh, that's what you meant. That all the enemies had their own levels. I gotcha. I didn't mind that too much, but it did seem kind of silly that it was like, all right, identical gang members? These guys are significantly harder. Yeah.
We know all about the jewelry ring. You and Randall and LeBlanc and Willie doing the legwork.
I'm in the fashion business.
Leveled enemies is your most hated game mechanic. It adds nothing to a game and only hurts it. I do not fully agree with that. In most cases. In a game like Cyberpunk, I think you're right. Putting health bars on stuff like that doesn't really help it. It's one of my biggest gripes with Borderlands is that everything just becomes a bullet sponge, and it's not fun to play Bullet Sponge Simulator. In games like World of Warcraft, I prefer that over everything being the same level always, and everything just scaling to your level. Then there is no true feeling of power progression.
You're lying, Henry.
How can you prove that I'm involved, Detective?
Because you pawned a Fabergé cigarette case today for $600. A case that is on a list of stolen items.
A leveled enemies
It was
problem.
Julia's idea. Get a list of society parties.
That oddly enough eliminates
where
the
and
whole
when, and then have the
reason to
guests
have leveled enemies.
Julia was desperate for money. No matter how much we made, she always wanted more.
Tell that to Overkill Jules balancing Payday 2.
Why did Reed
Payday 2 was
LeBlanc
balanced?
kill Julia Randall?
I wanted to stop, to get out of that life. I was gonna marry Heather if she'd have me. Julia told the others that they were out, that she was gonna create a new gang.
You're lying, Arnett. I think you ordered them to kill her. It was made to look like suicide, and when the coroner saw through that, you knew it was time to run.
I told you I was involved in the burglaries. I had nothing to do with Julia's death. Why would I need to run?
Well, why were you trying to take the train ticket? Best case scenario, when you level enemies to scale with the player, then all you did was kill player progression. Yes, exactly. It had balance back in 2015. That might have been when I first picked it up. Yeah. In my opinion, if you're going to do leveled enemies, then there needs to be that clear character progression. World of Warcraft in like Burning Crusade, in my opinion, did that great because, you know, you could go through a place where everything would kill you and you knew stuff was tougher. But eventually you would find yourself there killing those things and going toe to toe, and you felt great. And I loved that sense of, I've seen these things, I've run from these things, and now I can actually fight these things.
Swanson, that you're leaving for Mexico City tomorrow night? That it's a one-way ticket?
Henry? Tell me it isn't true.
I had no choice.
Gotcha. That's what you mean by leveled enemies. Okay, then yeah, I agree with you. I hate leveled
Julia
enemies.
I wanted out and she
Enemies
laughed in
having
my
levels
face.
is good, leveled enemies is not.
I had to pay Willie and Jimmy a fortune to do her, and now I'm completely broke.
What you are, Buster, is under arrest.
Who is Henderson, and what is his involvement?
Tell them what you know, Henry. I'll stand by you if you'll only tell the truth.
There is no Henderson.
Tell me about your first burglary, and don't lie.
I can't remember.
Not into having enemies? Why can't we all just get along? That's fair. I mean, if we all got along, then where's the conflict? Every good story has conflict and resolution. What are you doing, buddy? No, you're good. What are you doing? Oh, is your ball down there? Okay. Here, I got it. There you go, buddy. Good boy. Oh, do you want me to toss it? Gotta give it to me.
Your first burglary was a Dr. Harold Stoneman.
Where to have lunch is conflict.
Or shall I?
Henderson is Stoneman. He was crazy about Julia. She could get him to do whatever she wished. He threw the parties, and we arranged the burglaries. Julia never let him touch her. She just kept him hanging on the promise. Drove the good doctor almost insane.
Henry Arnett, you are under arrest for burglary and for the murder of Julia Randall.
Henderson is Stoneman, all right? I'm not the guy you want. Go talk to the good doctor.
Oh, we will, knucklehead. Meanwhile, we're fitting you for convict stripes.
I keep hitting the door frame trying to play ball with Plum. There you go. We've made good work of this, this case, I feel.
I guess the wedding's off.
He only robbed her mother and killed her best friend. Cut the guy some slack.
So how does the doctor fit in?
That's what we're about to find out. Maybe we should ask him to give you a quick once-over. That meathead gave you one hell of a pasting.
I've had worse.
You should have seen yourself staggering back in
I don't think
there
I should
like
be
a
driving.
drunken sailor.
Next time you can take the runner, Roy.
I didn't box in the Marines, though, did I?
Should have never told you that.
There goes a week's wages.
You're welcome. That's what you get for letting me, the guy who probably has a concussion, drive. Is this where I'm supposed to head next? Yeah. You're such a good boy, Plum.
Time for the doctor to give us something to make this all better.
He was just laying there waiting for me to toss his ball. Good boy. You gotta give it to me if you want me to play ball with you, buddy. You can't keep turning your head away.
Hang on a moment, sister.
Tell him it's Henry Arnett. And tell him it's urgent.
I can't do that.
Tell him, or I'll charge you with obstruction of justice.
Doctor, I'm afraid Mr. Arnett is here to see you, and he says it's urgent.
Send him in. I told you never to come.
Tell us the truth, Doctor.
I'm so glad you came. Prison will be better than insanity, and I'm already half insane with grief. Do you know that I loved her? I ruined my life for her, and yet I still love her.
Will you testify in court that Arnett and Randall did these robberies?
They organized the robberies. Julie would get the names of the guests attending my wife's parties. Didn't matter how much money I showered upon her, it was never enough. She never really cared for me.
Doctor, I'm afraid you're under arrest.
Oh, the practice. You'll call Dr. Gerard. No. Please don't cry. I want to see no one. Not my wife or my children, nor my friends. And I don't want a lawyer. Just lock me up and throw away the key.
Dang.
What have I done?
Oh! That could have been my car.
Didn't see that coming.
Well.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
I need an ambulance and the coroner immediately to the offices of Dr. Harold Stoneman, 1646 Ivor Street, Hollywood.
En route, Detective. You have a message. Detective Bukowski says the suspect is named Wilson Willie the Wolf Reed, former wrestler. Last known address is an apartment building at the corner of Hollywood and Vine. Detective Bukowski says to meet them there.
On our way. We have an address for the runner.
Jeez.
Let's try and wrap this up then.
Vice is, really hitting it home. I thought the other ones were crazy, but we just watched a man
That old boy really
throw himself
fell
out the
for that
window.
broad.
She was incredibly beautiful, boy.
Would you throw it all away for a woman?
Life has a way of making you pay for your pride.
What's that?
Quite the romantic, Phelps.
Oh.
Stick with the percentages. Broken hearts are for chumps.
You're talking from experience.
I certainly am. Oh, I like women as much as the next guy. As long as they're in their place and doing what they're told.
All right, now I want to punch him
They didn't
too.
park there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bring it here. Bring it here, Plum. You want me to throw it for you? You gotta bring it here.
Okay. Plum has decided he does not want to play ball. Oh wow, this guy was literally around the corner. I could have ran there. No take, only throw. That is all Plum know.
He's around here somewhere. A big guy. Neighbors say he always wears basketball shoes and a cream jacket. And get this. The kids around here say he plays the harmonica.
Find the game well and have the commander set up a dragnet. We want the area closed off. We'll take this out of the street.
A harmonica playing wrestler. That's a weird one. Think he knits as well?
Just keep your eyes open and your mouth shut. We don't want him to bolt on us.
Wait. Cole. You hear that?
Sure do. Hi, buddy. Thank you. I think it's coming from up top. Oh, no, they're in the alley.
Wilson Reed, LAPD, give yourself up.
Oh, he climbed up a ladder. Or a pipe. I didn't even see that. Game did a crap job at showing that to me. Now I'll never be able to... use my gun to stop him. Surprised Roy went in first. How do we know he went up? I mean, aside from the mini-map. Come on, Roy, you coming or what?
Hold it. He's got to be around here somewhere. No place to go unless he grew wings. There he is! Waste the son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch really picked a spot for it up here, didn't he? Julia Randall's folks are flying in from New York tomorrow to claim the body.
Oh, silly.
I saw her on the slab. So perfect. Looked like she was made of porcelain. She really made an impression on me.
Julia had that impact on a lot of men.
Christ, it's cold. You guys did good work here today. Roy, I think you should buy your brother officers a drink.
Do you now? That's very generous of you, Lieutenant.
All right. Julia Randall lived fast and died young, sending 1 man to jail and 3 to the morgue. Hi, Plum. Cute little plumpkin.
The whole company is gone, Hank. The major is dead. We're being overrun. We have to get off of this hill.
That's one of our 50 cows still firing, Cole. The 22nd are still fighting.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
It's over, Cole. Looks like you're one of the lucky ones.
Say goodbye to your friend Hank, Jack.
He was your friend too, Cole. Is this how you're going to leave him? Are you wounded?
Scratch, Kelso.
Well, get up and get out of that fucking hole! Find a stretcher while you're at it so we can get him out of here.
Who's the senior officer here?
I guess that's you, Cole.
You were up here all night?
Yes, sir.
And your command?
Gone, sir.
Sorry to hear that, son. But God damn it, we have beaten these bastards back. It's the beginning of the end, and it was one here. You're a goddamn hero, son. What's your name?
Lieutenant Phelps, sir.
I'm recommending you for the Silver Star and promoting you to First Lieutenant.
Hey, Angie boy but spaghetti. It's good to see you again. It has been a minute. How have you been? What have you been up to, my dude?
Earl Phelps, a shooting at the 111 Club, 6232 Hollywood Boulevard.
Sounds like a homicide beef.
2 of the dead guys caught in the crossfire were carrying Army surplus morphine. Get over there before homicide
You've been good?
tramples
Glad
all
to
over the
hear it.
place.
What have you been up to?
We
What's
already
going on
cleared
with you?
that
How's
up.
life?
Judge in
Give me the
Pasadena took the
deets,
big
man.
sleep yesterday. He had a personal stash of 20 cigarettes. Appears we didn't get all of it.
Playing a lot of Red Dead 2 and Dead by Daylight. Ooh, I've been wanting to pick up Red Dead Redemption 2. I've heard it's pretty solid.
Like homicide. I mean, you know you've made it if you got that desk.
God damn it. Just can't seem to put this morphine to sleep.
A dead judge. It's not good.
Everyone has their vices. Even you, Phelps.
Embedbot just loves every newcomer. Anyone who hasn't been here in a while, Embedbot tries to make you feel welcome. Is it? I haven't seen much about it, but I would hope that it is, considering it's one of Rockstar's newest games. Hopefully it would utilize quite a bit. Where?
You watch the Hammond Galahad fight?
Am I in the right spot, or did I go too far?
Anyway.
Panko cookie, huh? Thank you. Look, guys, it's a panko cookie. Basically, it tastes like a sugar cookie. But it's so good, man. Mmm.
I want to make homicide.
Goodness, it's just so tasty.
Well, this day was a total waste of makeup.
Guy gave his wife a tap. Say all's fair in love and war.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. Dead by Daylight, not Dread by Daylight. You've only done online, but you need to do the story mode. See, that's the funny part.
Parker and Green are
From what I remember of
job.
Red Dead Redemption 1, the online kind of sucked because everyone was a dick on it, but the story was very good.
You never know we'll get swept up in a thing like that.
So I love that you picked it up to play multiplayer, but not online. Hmm. So good. Big news for Red Dead 1 fans. Red Dead 1 will be released on Nintendo Switch and PS4. I didn't realize it wasn't out for PS4. Was it only on PS3, or did they not release it on PlayStation at all? Also, I don't understand why they would even bother releasing it on the Switch, especially with a new Switch coming out in like a year.
Detective Phelps, LAPD. What's going on here?
This joker was trying to tail one of our patrons inside.
I'm a reporter, you idiot! I'm doing a feature for the Examiner, and that patron I was following is a red under investigation by the feds.
Where is he now?
The parking lot. His is the blue Talbot. Say, how about an exclusive when you bring him back?
Shove off. You won't be filing your story today. I'll check this out.
A red, huh? Sneaky bastard. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this.
Your favorite thing to do is wait until you meet an NPC with a hat and then murder them for their hat and wear it proudly. Killing them just for their hats. Incredible. Your drug-dealing neighbors throw their trash off their second-floor porch. Instead of carrying it down, they almost threw a bag on a customer. You live right next to a...
LAPD, sir. Can I have a word?
You live right next to a shop that they're...
Well, that's an admission of guilt if I ever saw
Ooh,
one.
this is a pretty car.
He's not getting away that easily.
I'm in the middle of a chase. Ah. Okay.
I can't hit a target that isn't there, Phelps. I'll try for the tires. Keep your foot down.
Incredible. At our last apartment, there were some people that were getting evicted and they were pissed about it. So they were chucking their garbage outside or out their window onto the trash compactor. It's not a dumpster, it's a trash compactor. And it would land and splatter on the window to our other neighbors who were just the sweetest, kindest people. It was a real shame. To be fair, you don't have proof. They might have just very devoted friends that need to stop by daily but can only stay for 4 minutes at a time.
This is harassment. Understand?
What do you mean?
My politics are nobody's goddamn business but my own.
Yeah, the collateral damage of dingle-dongs. Absolutely. It blows my mind how just inconsiderate people are for no reason. They live such miserable lives that they try to make everyone else's life around them as miserable as possible, just to make themselves feel a little better. And it doesn't. We have some neighbors like that already. Called the cops on us after we moved in and we were trying to get our stuff loaded because we had a big truck and it couldn't turn in.
They're already inside.
And instead of trying to talk to us politely, they threatened us and then called the cops.
Back again.
So
we're here about the morphine.
That was
Over
fun.
by the bandstand. You can see what's left of the owner, Eddie McGoldrick, 26, former Marine.
I know Eddie McGoldrick. He was a non-com in my old unit.
I'm sorry to hear that, Cole. Waitress said he recently came into some money and bought the club.
Who are the other Vics?
2 musicians, Biddleston and Bo. And get this, they used to be in a 4-piece, but the trombone player and the drummer OD'd.
Don't tell me. Lamont and Tyree? We've met the rest of the band.
Now they're a no-piece.
Do you mind if we take a look around?
Be my guest. You might want a word with the hostess, too. I'll keep her company until you're ready.
Ah, dang. This is gonna be a big one.
Must have pumped a dozen rounds into him. Certainly sends a message.
A lot of the same cars and people stop by daily and run in and out and stay for like 4 minutes. Oh. You know, I've noticed that too. With our old neighbors. They lived on the 3rd floor, we were on the 2nd. And this woman's son had friends over constantly. And they would... It sounded like they were jumping up and down the stairs with how loud and frequently they would go up and down the stairs. All times. 3 in the morning, midnight, 2 in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 9 in the morning. It didn't matter. I swear, those kids never slept. But yeah, they would stop, by and then leave like 10 minutes later, and constantly driving in and out. They crashed into the apartment complex at one point and caused some damage, which I think was part of the reason why that they were getting evicted. On top of the fact that the son and his friends stole cars and left them parked in the apartment complex parking lot. And parking was already a chore. So, you know. And because of the laws in Washington and the kid being under
another $1.
18, they wouldn't convict him of anything. But apparently as soon as he turns 18, they're going to have a field day. I'm sure this beer bottle and this cigarette are inconsequential. Oh yeah, it was really bad. Shortly after they moved in, we had packages stolen like 3 times. And we were positive it was them. We just didn't have a camera or anything to prove it. So we bought a Ring doorbell. Packages stopped getting stolen.
Maintained, custom case. Someone cared for this instrument.
Can I look at things? But it was stuff like dresses and pants for Lauren. Like gifts that my mom... Oh.
Find anything interesting?
Neat trick.
The
case must have cost more than the trumpet. We should follow up on the
Never saw the mom wearing it, so I don't know what they did with it. Probably just trashed it.
He kept his stash close at hand.
But it's super frustrating.
Another day.
A gang of 4 preteen girls stole a package off your porch that was glassware with lids from Amazon. You may still have pictures of the 4 of the team carrying the box down the street. Why? What did they do with it? And were you able to get them in trouble or anything? Not that I'm sure not that it would do any good for preteens, but still. Maybe some parents still have an iota of care about what their children are doing and punish them instead of blaming society. Yes, I'm well aware of the morphine, thank you. Okay, nothing. When a neighbor told you, sent you the pics, you confronted them and let them know that if you didn't get it back, you would be contacting the police to sort it out. Did you get it back? That's a lot of cigarettes.
1,000 packs to a carton, 100 cartons or more. Looks like a couple of months' supply.
And guns.
These look brand new. Never fired. They haven't been degreased yet. We could check on the serial numbers.
Is this guy hunting for bear? Look at these things.
They're BARs. You get the odd guy who sneaks one of them home from the war. How did he get 3 of them?
How would you sneak
Army
a gun?
surplus morphine, Army surplus weapons, Army surplus valors. Sound familiar?
We should get back to the station and check the details of what exactly was lifted from that ship.
Hello, I would like to
I'm
talk to
Detective
you.
Phelps, Administrative Vice Squad.
Welcome to the 111 Club, Detective. Feels like I've had half the LAPD in here today already.
Any idea who did the shooting?
No idea. It was my day off. If I had been here, honey, I'd be full of holes just like the others.
So they returned all of it, but it had been removed from the boxes and they carried it up the street in trips and left them in piles. There were 4 bowl-like containers that were used and washed. So you think after they opened up the boxes, they shared a victory bowl of cereal or something? Or maybe they had to all eat from the bowl so they were equally complicit in the crime. Maybe they just washed them for you as a I'm sorry.
You want to level with me, miss, before we start taking an interest in you.
This place has been on the slide for years. Eddie turns up, buys the club, then we start getting visits from tough guys. Next thing you know, we have the St. Valentine's Day massacre. Are you getting the picture?
Tell us about Eddie.
Eddie didn't know a thing about running a nightclub. He came into some money and waltzed in and bought the place. The previous owner thought all his Christmases had come at once.
Where do you think he got the money?
My guess was that he was selling the sort of quality product that you don't need to advertise.
Thank you for your help, ma'am.
Eddie was in over his head, but he was a decent boss.
We're out of here.
And I thought this was such a nice area.
I just love the thought process behind what do we do with these bowls? We use them.
That's a
Eat
cruel
out of them.
irony. You survive the war, then get blown to pieces back home.
It happens more than you'd think. Young guys trying to adjust to normal life, getting mixed up in the wrong crowds.
The kid had just bought a nightclub. I'd say he got mixed up in the right crowds.
Until someone filled him full of holes.
You don't come into that kind of money that quickly without pissing a few people off.
Hey, we've been to the Blue Room. This is the place that Roy likes to frequent. I know this place. Hello, hello, no, okay. Further in we go.
Take a break, boys.
We would like them to stay, Miss Lickman. We're making inquiries into the recent deaths of 4 musicians.
Since when have the police cared about dead black men?
Good point. We don't. What we care about is 2 tons of Army surplus morphine showing up on the street. If you care about working in this town, you better give me something on Biddleston and Bow, or their knucklehead buddies Tyree and Lamont.
And this is your idea of making inquiries, Untersturmführer?
I've told you 1,000 times about speaking that German gibberish at me, Elsa.
Roy, how about you get a drink while I see to this?
Will you sit down?
Little did I know that would be the least of your crime worries.
You know what he's capable of.
Yeah, considering your
Ask
house
your
is getting
questions,
shot up.
officer.
Sounds
We
like
have work to do.
once a week. Truly does seem like the worst of your
People are
worries.
dying of overdoses. If you know anything about it, you need to tell me.
I can't help you.
A lot of cats are into the thing. There's nothing special about your boys.
You can do this the easy way with me, or I can call my partner back over. I can assure you he's a lot less sensitive.
You think your threats frighten me?
Black man don't supply nothing. You think there's a black man in this town holding on to 2 tons of morphine? He'd be dead in a minute. White man supplies, black man buys.
My partner mentioned a couple of names. You recognize them?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
With all the 1940s sexism and racism, how did he not call her? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just glad that there has not been nearly as much as I would have expected in this game.
The only way
Especially
you're going to
after
get rid
playing
of
some
me
of
is to
GTA
give me an
5.
answer.
I knew Cornell. We worked together a few years ago. He loved the music, but the music didn't love him.
What does that mean?
It means that he just wasn't that good. He was a sad, lonely cat.
Boys, take 5 minutes, please. I need to have a private word with the officer. Why do you ask people to risk talking about a subject that could have them jailed?
Drugs are against the law, Elsa.
And you're so full of courage, you have never felt ashamed.
This is getting us nowhere.
Do you think you'll win your war against narcotics?
It's not my war. It's against the law. My job is to prosecute the laws of this city.
Do you think you can stop people from needing drugs, detective?
I'm asking the questions here.
Then why do you come to me with your stupid questions? You know who controls the drugs in this city.
It's not enough to just survive, Elsa. You have to try and make the world a better place.
Brave words, and very noble. But words are just words, Colfax.
She's right. We need to pay a visit to the Mixter.
Cohen? Do you know where to find him?
This time of day? You'll find him holding court at the Macambo.
He can wait. There's something I need to be sure of. Give me till tomorrow morning.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, partner.
All right. Looks like I'm tailing Red Rocket here. Why would you stop? There was no reason to stop. God, it's like I'm driving in the city all over again. No specific city, just literally all of them. Driving in any city is hell these days. Although the highways around here are much better than the ones in Seattle. Okay.
Move in. Can't risk losing the trail.
Oh, is that her home? You want me to just, like, pull up right behind? Yeah, that's inconspicuous. Have I been to this place before? I feel like I have. What is your angle here, Fel? She changed quick. Wait, did he follow me, follow her? Did I stay the night? What the heck just happened? Don't I have a wife?
LAPD.
Not
We're
that
looking
that's
for Mayor
stopped
Cohen.
anyone.
I believe he has lunch here.
There's not going to be any trouble, is there?
Which table?
Number 3, if you'll follow me.
Boy, that steak had seen better days.
That cherry pie was delish.
LAPD. We have some questions
Hi,
regarding...
Mickey. How's it hanging?
Fine. Just fine, Roy. I see you brought Iga Beaver along. Hope he's not going to put the shakes on me again.
Cole Phelps. Mickey Cohen.
Good afternoon.
He has manners. Aren't you a little green for this kid?
Meet Johnny Stompanato, Cole. He has the biggest schlong in Hollywood and the smallest gun. Or maybe that's the other way around. I can never quite remember.
You're a funny guy, Roy. Haven't I always said what a funny guy Roy is? And how much fun it would be to get together with him sometime.
Poor Johnny. He's the dark, sensitive type. He's a serviceman too, Cole. Johnny was at Okinawa.
You were in the crotch?
6th Marines.
The lieutenant who won the Silver Star up on Sugarloaf. I've heard of you.
Something like that.
All right, have we finished flirting? You got something to discuss, Roy? Or are you going to stand around beating the meat while my lunch gets cold?
We have some questions.
Do I need my lawyer?
Maybe.
Your brother-in-law, Lenny Finkelstein, was selling stolen morphine. He had 1/3 of the shipment.
Old news, kid. I don't know anything about what Lenny was up to.
So I'm supposed to believe that you don't know what happened to the rest of the shipment?
Lenny, God rest his soul, was a moron. He was family, though, and I haven't made a beef about that, so count yourself lucky, kid. The H is a filthy habit, and I don't condone it. The simple solution would be to have all the dope fiends put down.
So you don't know where he got the morphine?
Kid, ask a question you might get an answer to.
We believe there's a link between a group of Marines and the morphine stolen from the SS Coolidge. One of those Marines was shot to death in a club last night.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
So you haven't heard anything about what happened at the 111 Club?
Pretty sure that would be all over the
What can I
news,
say, kid?
especially for a big
I'm
mafia
shocked that in the
boss.
land of opportunity, Uncle Sam's finest feel the need to resort to crime. It's a dangerous business. I can attest to that. I'd recommend they get out of the life. Quickly.
A few Negroes saying goodbye on the sidewalk will never make the papers, Mickey. But we had a judge in Pasadena say adios the other day. Prominent white people popping their clogs makes everyone nervous.
You know dope has never been my thing, Roy. It's always been for schmendricks like Jack D. and Jimmy Utley. But I'll ask around and I'll get back to you. Hey, you boys want some lunch? How about a drink?
We'll take a rain check on that. Come on, Cole, we're leaving.
We have to cut that dope. It looks bad with people dying.
We have to get the rest of it. There's no way of watering down the stuff in those little packages. We have to put the squeeze on those guys and get the rest of it.
They don't seem the type to frighten that easy.
We'll see.
Wonder if this is coming up to that one kid and the doctor that we keep seeing in
public about Brenda.
papers.
Who is Brenda?
Brenda is LA's most famous madam.
And everyone knows it?
Of course everyone knows. Brenda pays her way.
Are we cops or a collection agency?
Whores have been around since the Bible. Our job is to keep it off the street so Joe Citizen and his wife can stroll around unmolested.
Then we should change the law.
Are you out of your mind? Every politician in America is against prostitution, except when they're using them.
So where does Stoker come in?
True.
He objects to the LAPD and the administration taking its cut.
Is everyone in on this?
Yeah, and that's the problem. From a little acorn does a large tree grow. He could bring the whole thing crashing down on us.
Aren't you supposed to be working,
Sir, do you know which robbery detectives are working the Army surplus theft from the Coolidge?
Caldwell and McManus? I saw Caldwell in the squad room not long ago if you want to speak to him.
Thank you, sir. We'll do that.
This way.
All right. Seemed like a weird stopgap, but you know, I guess we carry on.
California to be a secretary.
Harry, you got a minute?
Sure, Cole, anytime.
You've been working the docks robbery on the SS Coolidge?
Yeah, that's right.
So how do you see it?
Inside job. Either the guys working the wharves or some of the guys on the ship.
What else was taken apart from the morphine?
Case of BARs, case of Thompsons, crate of Valor smokes.
Homicide just recovered 3 BARs and a mountain of cigarettes at a shooting at the 111 Club.
No kidding. I better get over there.
Do you have a copy of the manifest?
Yeah. Here it is.
Yeah,
I-
so how do we connect the docks robbery to the mess at the 111 Club?
Edward McGoldrick.
And find the goddamn evidence. Mouthpiece store
Courtney
strips off
Sheldon.
the grand jury, case got thrown out. Now the DA wants my
Jack
head.
Kelso. What?
Need a drink.
What do you want me to tap
I got
here,
the
buddy?
jitters again.
Hey, I gave his wife a tap. I said all's fair in love and war.
M1918.
I mean, you know you made it if you got that death.
This is the crate we recovered.
Mouthpiece torch.
500,000 cigarettes loose on the streets of LA.
Oh yeah, that is a lot.
Now the DA wants my head.
This one.
Yeah, I'm thinking of moving up to a 45. I want to put him down to 1 round. Need a
Enough to
drink.
arm 3
I got the
companies.
jitters again.
That is a lot of Thompsons.
Here's our backroom arsenal from the 111
Yeah, I tapped
Club.
that one already. Come on now.
Some of these guys are from my old unit. They must have finally shipped home. Kelso, Sheldon, McGoldrick.
McGoldrick was on the boat?
Sure, we checked him out.
McGoldrick bought the 111 Club, Harry. His brains are all over the bar.
Looks like whoever stole the dope is getting muscled.
By whom?
Orange suit.
Dragner or Cohen. They control the hop.
You fading?
Detectives, KGPL's going crazy. Shots fired at 1384 North Bronson. Some guy with an automatic spraying a Hollywood bus. They want every car. Go!
Ooh, that did get spicy real quick.
I want to make homicide. You know you made
Need a drink. I got the jitters again.
Someone has an alcohol problem.
I read about it.
Hi, buddy. Yes, want to play ball? There you go. He never stops wanting to play ball, Lauren. All right, let's go to this bus shooting.
All units, officers need help at 1384 North Bronson. 1384.
See how fast we can get there.
Shots fired. Any units to handle identified. Code 3.
Hi, buddy. He's resting his head on my lap.
North Bronson. 116 Adam reports the suspect is on the roof of the J.W. Robinson building. All units approach with caution. Units 49 William, 15 Adam, go to 1370 Gordon Street. Establish
Birds.
a perimeter and stand by for further. Any other units to respond. Code 3, identify.
Pigeons. Wasn't expecting those cars to bounce me around like that, but they sure did. Is that gonna be Kelso? All right, so he targets me immediately. Oh, yo, if I can, I'm just gonna run around the back.
1384 North Bronson. Ambulance is en route. Repeating, all units. Officers still need help on Bronson.
Reinforcements are on the way.
Oh, that's not a pipe. I thought that was a pipe. There's a ladder.
You're covered, Cal.
I swear that looked like Kelso.
LAPD, drop the gun now.
Maybe I'm just getting them confused, though. The real question is why? Search the snipers, but I wouldn't call him much of a sniper, but you know, I guess that's whatever. Wonder if it's gonna be one of the new ones.
It's one of the BARs.
Mm-hmm. No, nothing to go over that, other than that it's empty. Lord. Oh wow, this guy even brought pallets up here. He was all set up. No, I guess he isn't Kelso. I don't know who this guy is. Anything on the hands? Doesn't look like it. Search the jacket pocket.
Phone number and restaurant table.
Combo table 3. That was the table we were just at, but why? Hi, buddy.
I know that guy. Felix Alvaro.
He's one of the guys from the ship?
His name was on the manifest.
Looks like McGoldrick wasn't the only one to get a message.
Hey, Alvaro.
Hey, Lieutenant.
He's just a plain detective now, Chico.
Who's the jughead?
This is my partner, Roy Earl. We just want to find out what happened.
What happened is that someone took a shot at my bus. And then cops turned up and start treating me like I'm some sort of Pachuco punk. My people have been in California for over 300 years.
Very fucking admirable, Felix.
Oh, Roy, I hate you.
You hear anything about
with
the big
so
heist on
much
Cool Ridge?
passion.
Yeah, I heard about it.
So what happened?
Not much. The cops came and interviewed me and all the other guys on the ship.
I was down at the 111 Club this morning, waiting for the medical examiner to scrape Eddie McGoldrick's brains off the bar. You want to tell me anything about that?
I heard that Eddie came into some money. Too bad he didn't keep a low profile. It was a tough break to get through Okinawa and then have to buy it back home.
Who's shooting at you, Felix?
How the fuck do I know?
The dead guy on the roof works for Mickey Cohen. Why would Cohen want you dead?
Man, I don't know anything about Mickey Cohen or any of those gangsters.
Your name was in the sniper's notebook. Level with me, Felix.
Cohen thinks because we were on the boat, we have the morphine. Courtney's meeting those guys to sort it out.
Courtney Sheldon?
Yeah. You remember Sheldon, don't you, Cole?
We'll be in touch, Felix.
Interesting.
In LA?
I saw his name on the manifest.
He's been here a couple of months. Sure glad to see you got over your wound, Lieutenant. I mean, Detective.
Jack Kelso.
Pretty cool customer.
He's been under fire before.
You buying his story?
Not for a minute.
It's got to be something big, right?
All right, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't remotely interested in what's going on. Even though all the stories seem kind of disjointed, I am kind of getting into the deep stories of this game.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an address on a Jack Kelso.
Just a second. Jack Kelso, apartment 4,
1408 North El Centro Avenue, Hollywood.
Thanks.
Was this truly a thing that the operator just knew everyone, or like had a list of everyone's name and address and everything? They didn't have a phone book then.
All these cops, it's gotta be something.
No, he
right?
just calls the operator. Maybe the operators had the phone book.
Jack was a company sergeant. He would never get involved in something like this.
We brace him and drag him downtown.
It won't work. He's a tough customer.
It's crazy to think that I grew up in
Why don't you use the siren?
That I grew up in the time of having phone books, but then never actually using them. Never had to. Yeah. Well, like I said, I grew up with them. I've looked at phone books. I've held phone books, but I've never actually had to like look anything up in the phone book. Yeah. We never really used payphones or used them at home. Alrighty. I think this is a good place to call it for the night, however. The reunion. You delivered phone books one summer in college? Delivered them?
This is Detective Roy Earl.
Hello,
Oh.
Cole.
We would like a word.
Would you like to come inside?
Actually, we'd prefer if you'd come downtown with us. Do you mind?
Do I have any choice?
No, you don't.
Are you going to tell me what this is all about?
It would be better for all of us if we discussed it at the station.
Bad move, Cole.
What's that supposed to mean?
How have you been, Jack?
Cut the crap. You pick me up in front of my apartment like a common criminal and then expect small talk? Fuck you.
It was the other phone book that was printed because they were able to sell enough ads to make it profitable. Is that the... was it the white pages instead of the yellow pages or whatever? Okay. I am going to call it here, though, because I have a feeling this is going to turn into much more than I am ready to tackle, being so close to time anyway. So, we are going to quit that and see who we can raid out to. I'm not sure what you mean by the other quote-unquote phone book. What kind of other quote-unquote phone books you got out there? Fascinating. Alrighty, so I am going to raid us out to my buddy Halloween Mooncrab. He is playing some Halo the Master Chief Collection, but it's cursed. And I just caught a glimpse of his stream and it looks like he's playing Mario Kart, which is hilarious. It wasn't the official phone book, it was one that copied the... Oh, so they copied the info, but then also put ads in it, which made it profitable. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, so they took public info and repackaged it and sold new ads. That sounds like how most people make their business on the internet these days. Stealing people's information and selling it alongside ads. But anyway, we're going to raid out to Halloween Mooncrab. He's awesome. His wife's birthday was just recent. I think it was yesterday. But he's having some fun playing some interesting games. And I would love to give him some love. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? But anyway. Appreciate you all hanging out with me tonight. I hope you are enjoying LA Noire. We are getting extremely close to the end. We have, after this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more cases, so I think we will probably be done. Oh boy. If not Wednesday, probably next week. Good job, InBedBot. Anyway. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, stay hydrated, and I'll see you all in the next adventure.